Friends and family, let us gather round to memorialize the memory of the Disney Channel. Yes, the once great channel is now on its last legs, perhaps taking its last breaths. But why does the Walt Disney Company want to drive a stake straight in the heart of the Disney Channel? Well, it comes down to the stakes they have with money, as you might have suspected. And today we're going to break down in high resolution exactly why Disney wants the Disney Channel gone. And maybe so do the cable companies. We'll explain it all and why that's not so Raven right now. Hello folks, welcome back to the WDW Pro channel. A joy as always to have you joining us. You're the electricity that drives all of this. Without you, none of it happens. So thank you from the bottom of our pro-ish hearts. All right folks, we are talking today about the Disney Channel. No, you may not have paid much attention to that channel recently, but there's also a reason for that. And Disney may be interested in the end of the Disney Channel. But why? Why sacrifice the once great channel in favor of Disney Plus? Why can't they coexist? Well, we're going to share with you exactly how this plays out behind the scenes. And it comes down to commercials. All right, panel, let's go right now. I want to take a look at the decline in the Disney Channel because we talk very often on this channel about the various things which have been sacrificed in order to prop up Disney Plus, which has not made anywhere close to a profit, and will take years and years to get out of the hole they're in, if it ever happens. And I don't suspect that it will now. I'm starting to see some analysts saying it will never have a net profit.
Disney padded that in the annual report.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
but now that said, so what we often talk about the secondary and tertiary markets of DVDs and Blu-rays and all of that, and that's fair enough. We're talking about billions of dollars that were sent down the drain, the 2 shower a day drain, of course. And we could go on through a number of things, but one of the things we seldom talk about is the Disney Channel. And if you take a look at the Disney Channel ratings, this is fascinating to me. This is out of Data is Beautiful. I love the name there. And this was put together by Blake LAWGA. So Blake Law, I'm going to assume that's Georgia. Source is Nielsen Media Research. We love Nielsen. And you can see if we go back to 2010, what it's looking at right here is major shows that launched on Disney Channel. How many millions of people showed up, or millions of households in the case of what Nielsen covered. More accurately, how many millions of households tuned in for the pilots of these big show premieres for Disney Channel. If we go back to 2010, it was a force to be reckoned with. We can see multiple shows coming out to somewhere around approximating 5 million households. And then you can see the decline. Disney Plus launches in 2020, of course, and we can see that it has dropped again. However, I'm going to pause at something here. I think that the decline was far more steep because if you take a look at about 2016, 2017, it's in decline, but it's not in a terrible decline. It could have come back up, and you can see Raven's Home, for example, is an exception to the rule. And so I think that had they continued to spend like they had been in the past, you would not have seen such a significant decline. My position here is that what happened is about 2018-ish, when they knew they were going to do Disney Plus, they probably took all of the funding that was going into Disney Channel and said, we're going to move this over to Disney Plus to create shows there. And I suspect that's why we see the rapidity in the decline of Disney Plus to now, in 2023, we're looking at shows that nobody's watching them. Nobody. We're talking about, 100,000 to 200,000 people watching these pilots on Disney Channel. So Disney Channel is done. They've closed the international channels largely. The domestic channel is still there, but it's largely over. What do you guys think about that? And let me apologize to one of our guests backstage who's been waiting a long time. I want to bring on KMG for a specific reason, but I'm not trying to be rude or offensive to our other guest. We do value and we want you on. But I want to bring on KMG right now because KMG, you have a special knowledge about this specifically. But I'm going to open it up to the entire panel. KMG, if you've got some thoughts on this, weigh in. But what do you all think about the utter decline in the Disney Channel? And it's just been thrown away, utterly thrown away.
I'm going to point out that there was a time at which Disney Channel had more subscribers than ESPN, and that was not that long ago. I'm talking like 2018, 2019 range. So there's that.
Can I just add to all of this? We did a great segment today, or at least we're going to be doing a great segment. I don't know if it's true. No, it was today.
Yeah, the fast.
Yeah. The fast channels are really starting to be something that Disney's paying attention to, because they realize that the cable systems are going to get rid of them as soon as they possibly can. So they're going to convert all of these channels that they've been neglectful of, that they still have a catalog that they can support a fast channel with. They're going to try and monetize all of this stuff through, that means. That's what they're going to do. They have 8 channels right now that the cable systems don't want to carry because they aren't money generators, because Disney doesn't support them, which you can see the evidence right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy.
So this means that instead of trying to catch kids as the babysitter of tweens when they get home, now they're just turning on YouTube. So I really see this as the rise of YouTube more than I see this as the decline of Disney Channel.
That's an interesting take.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the
TikTok.
replacement market for teenagers right now, is that there used to be that they would come home and veg out on the couch. Their competition at the time was video games, but the rise of YouTube is the end of this channel. And
then would you say that TikTok is the second whammy?
Yeah. Yes, as much as I hate TikTok.
Oh yeah,
yes.
very much.
Yeah.
Well, here's a question. What if they'd have put Bluey on the Disney Channel instead of on Disney Plus?
Well, that's a great point.
But why
would that have saved it?
No.
Bluey is the number 4 show in the world.
Well, Bluey is on.
It's a preschool show that's number 4.
It's on Disney Junior right now.
Okay.
So it is getting airplay, and I do think that is huge. Now that being said, a Bluey fast channel, and when we say fast, we mean free ad supported.
Right.
So, and these are like when you are clicking through the TV guide on a cable television, and there'll be a channel that is like the Gunsmoke channel or the Full House channel, where they've taken something that is in syndication or has a large number of episodes, or is something random like Coco Melon. They're very super specific, not even like comedy, but like something super, like a single IP. That's a fast channel, and they are and they make money off of the ads, even though everything else is in decline anyways.
So if I may, real quick before I have to go, to explain something on this chart, because everything Jonas just said is 100% correct. The analysis on realizing where this landed in the cultural lineage of the zeitgeist over the past 13, 14 years. Yes, when you get into that 14, 15 range, the rise of video social media, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok as it came around later, that started to replace a lot of this stuff. Now, there's another component here, and it's not an accident. Around that same time, 2015 into 2016, that would certainly have been the point where Disney would have started planning for Disney Plus. Even though they wouldn't have announced it publicly, but when you look at the timeline, because they launched in late 2019, they had, The Mandalorian ready to go. They had WandaVision and all this other stuff ready to go for the MCU. That was years in advance of planning. They were moving in that direction. And I think there was some decision at that point to start dragging things off of linear broadcast.
Gary Beekler, Nerdrotic, said on your stream, he said he knew people who were working on Disney Plus in 2014.
Oh, 2013. The gestation period started in 2013. It
was that was like the formulation period. I think by the time they got to 2015, 2016, there were hard plans in place, technological forces in motion. But
because they bought into BAM Tech, Valiant.
Right, exactly. So that's what I'm saying, is that was moving in that direction. Now, the second part of this is the launch. Okay, so you had the decline. You can take the first part of this chart, that first downward sweep. And as you get down there, as you move into 2018 to 19, there starts to be a shift in the pitch of that line. There starts to be a leveling off, right? It starts to move a little bit more parallel to the 0 bar at the bottom. But then it goes into a secondary drop into 2020 and 2021. Two things happened there. Number one, I think it started leveling off mainly because people were settling down to what was still on there. There was still a lot of good programming. You can see a lot of programs that released around that same time, all in that dot plot. But here's the point. that is the moment, simultaneously to Disney's launch, that Disney started either removing or effectively simulcasting things on Disney Plus that they had previously dedicated only to Disney Channel and Disney Junior or things like this. What was the chief complaint, or one of the top 2 or 3 chief complaints by Charter Spectrum in the fight that we saw a couple of months ago? It's because right there, when that line started to pitch south, we're looking at Disney Channel's linear broadcast decline, is because all of those programs that people like Charter Spectrum and Comcast and everybody else were forced to pay Disney through the nose to maintain were then being shunted over to Disney Plus, including, like what you just said, somebody just asked a question about why didn't they put Bluey on there? They had it. And then that was one of the big things, of course, that people like Charter Spectrum were paying for, because they were able to broadcast Bluey. What did Disney do? They put it on Disney Plus and sold it for an extra $8 a month over there.
Yep.
So this is where the cable companies got into a fight with Disney and said, no, you hosed us. You totally screwed us on this. We entered into a contract saying we're going to pay you for X content. And then after we signed the contract, you went and took that content, opened up your own damn streaming service, put everything over there, and our customers left because of obvious reasons, and you expect us to still pay you these fees. Go Elon Musk yourself. That's what that was.
Well
That's
said.
what that was. And then you saw that secondary decline when the second part of that graph heads due south between 2020 and 2024. Now, of course, part of that was the pandemic era lockdown, right? But people are stuck at home. They're going to watch TV like they did. But a lot of them migrated towards YouTube and everything else, as we all know. But Disney didn't honor what they had set up with their cable broadcasters. Like we've been saying, is now that they have basically gotten on their knees before Charter and Spectrum, they're going to have to do the same thing for every other linear broadcast provider out there, including Comcast, who they're trying to get Hulu from right now.
Especially Comcast.
Yeah, the biggest player on the block.
All right, but before you go, KMG,
Pro,
please share your knowledge on this.
Yeah, I just want to say I'll share some more knowledge when it's members only, but the Disney Channel and Disney Junior are not monetizable via advertising. They are restricted. Those channels were propped up by the cable fees. Mm-hmm. If a brand wants to get on those channels, it is very, very hard because of the restrictions, because it's program aimed to children.
That's
all.
Okay, so as difficult as it is this at all substantial, the drop in the viewership in terms of revenues? Or was it so minuscule that this shouldn't even be something that has any kind of impact?
You can look at the decline of just the Disney Channel audience over time. I mean, this is totally expected, because I can just tell you there is no attention or love given to Disney Channel or Disney Junior, specifically because there's just really no way to monetize them.
Oh,
I mean, there's no. I mean, if you ever watch Disney Channel or Disney Junior,
oh, it's awful.
The only ads are Disney ads.
Yeah.
There's no. I mean, there are certain instances where a company could get an ad, but it would go through like mountains.
ABC
try to get it on there, because Disney would basically have to produce the ad.
Okay, real quick, just to give you an idea of the decline in television viewership statistics. In 2021, cable television represented 44% of American households. You had 56% of Americans that watched television via cable or satellite. That number was down from 2015, which was at 76%. So it's scaled downwards. You had a total number of cable subscribers drop from 98.7 million in 2016 to 72.2 in 2023. So that's despite the fact that the market grew and is projected to grow from 184 billion in 2022 to 209 billion in 2030. So it's still going to go up. You have cable television peaking in 2010s at about 90% of U.S. households. So they had about 10 billion in ad commitments. I bet you everybody that's in the industry now regrets moving to streaming because they made a butt ton more money.
Yep.
And finally, Fox News was the most watched basic cable channel in 2021, despite a 35% decrease in viewers from 2020.
Wow.
An election year.
Effect.
An election.
Tucker
Well,
effect.
an election year.
It's an
Yeah.
election year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
All
been
right,
the biggest
so-
problem is the duplicity of content between what they're putting on their cable stations and streaming at the same time. You're undercutting one side and to prop up another, which Disney itself has admitted in their most recent annual report that they're not even sure if it's ever going to return the kind of profits that investors were hoping for.
They are going to merge Hulu and Disney Plus because they are quietly trying to hide the fact that Disney Plus is a failure.
Yes.
And before we outro, and we're going to outro,
Exactly what
because we gotta get
Zasloff
some
did with
folks out there.
Max and Discovery.
There are those of us on the panel who have, well, let's just say we know about what this might look like when Hulu is integrated into Disney Plus. So we'll have coverage coming up. All right, folks, that's a wrap. Just like a present you get under Christmas, except this time, folks, no one is staring at you wondering, will you like it or dislike it? No, no, no. The way you let us know if you liked it or disliked it is, well, click the like button, share, subscribe, and when you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, as always, remember that we are here for you. Thursdays, the Pro Show. Oh, wait a minute. No. We're changing the schedule for the Pro Show. Big announcement coming, folks, so pay attention. The Pro Show is moving to a new time. We'll have the details very soon. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.